So tonight's going to be a little bit different than our typical Sunday night. Number one, I can't stand behind a podium. If you tied my hands behind my back, I probably couldn't talk at all because I like to talk with my hands. And sometimes when I'm really passionate about something and I really like something, I talk really fast. So at any point, like I'm just going way too fast, just take a breath. You know, we're fine. You don't have to talk so fast. But tonight is a mission report, essentially. I'm going to talk about a few different things, not just our mission trip. Tonight, giving Isaac a break. He talked about giving this morning, so if he got back up here tonight, someone might throw something at him. So giving him a little break. Also, to kind of give you an insight of what it is that's going on when I get up here and make announcements about retreats, or when I ask you to bring things for the City of Children. A lot of you participated in our Christmas trip. You brought bags. A lot of you will participate in the summer. You've already started bringing suitcases. We'll do care package items. A lot of you brought in like just buckets and buckets of Tylenol and ibuprofen and Band-Aids and alcohol swabs, and you brought all those things, but you've never really been able to see where they went or how they were applied or where your good works are going. So that's what tonight is for. Tonight is meant to encourage you. It's meant to let you see what is going on. It's meant to encourage you, number one, to keep doing what you're doing, to keep giving, to keep bringing stuff in, but number two, to also encourage you to get involved. Now, I say that, get involved. The City of Children trip, we are already maxed out at about 74 people for this summer, but we want you to be involved somehow. I'm going to do a little report at the very end of Cusco. The Cusco trip, we want more people to go next year. Ryan and Sarah asked me when Ashton and I were leaving, they were like, how many can you bring back next year? You know, can you bring back teenagers? Can you bring back, you don't have to be medical to go on this trip. So this entire report tonight is just so you can kind of see what's going on, because you've probably heard me make announcements and you're like, wonder what that is. Wonder what that means. Where is this going? And this is the report for you so that you'll know that. So first, we're going to start with family retreats. Okay? So the next one in the fall, I'm taking family out, and I'm just going to say fall retreat. That's what it is. It's the Chapel Hill Church of Christ fall retreat, because I've had some of you tell me it's like, well, my parents can't go, so I'm not going because my family's not going to be there. Or I don't have any kids, so I can't go. Or it's family. It is family oriented. I want as many people to come. The reason I changed it from retreat to family retreat is so that more people would come, and that's still kind of a barrier there. So family retreat will come down, and it will be Chapel Hill Church of Christ fall retreat. Everyone is welcome this fall. We want you to be there. Okay? So what do you do at a fall retreat? What do you do at a spring retreat? I don't even know where you go. Am I going to have to stay with people I don't know? Am I going to have to eat? Am I going to be sleeping on the ground? Is it going to be cold? Is it going to be hot? Is it going to be Let's talk about that, okay? So first of all, here's a picture from our fall family retreat at Taylor Christian. We've averaged right at 65 people the last two retreats. Fall retreat we had about 68, and then spring retreat we had about 62. So what do we do at retreats? We have devotionals. We generally have at least 3 to 4 devotionals, sometimes 5. We also have worship there on Sunday morning. Various people lead these. I think in this picture Cecil is leading in the fall retreat. He's speaking. But the devotionals, we sing. Someone has a message. Someone talks to us. This is a beautiful life. That was our fall retreat theme. Our spring retreat theme was created for more. So a beautiful life and created for more. So what else do we do at retreats? Again, devotionals. We have classes for the young ones. So even if you have young ones, we have classes for them. Lacey taught in the fall. I taught them in the spring. Teenagers, of course, you'll have classes. This one was more of a discussion, and I've heard nothing but positive things about Neelan and the discussion that you all had through the last retreat. Again, this past time in the spring, we were all together, guys and girls, for the teenagers. In the fall, we did break it up. Miss Sheila taught the ladies, and I taught the guys. So it's always changing. I'm always trying to do things to get more people involved, to get more discussion, to help us learn. This one was specific, something the girls need to talk about, and the one that we did in the fall, the guys needed to talk about. What else do? We had small groups this past time. We actually had an elders and deacons meeting tonight right before we got here, and we kind of discussed some of the things that came out of those small groups. You know, the small group theme this past spring retreat was created for His church. And we talked about how can we as His church be more involved? What are some things we can do? How can we better minister to each other? How can we take care of each other? How can we reach out to those around us? How can we greet new members? How can we make people feel like they're at home? Because those of you that have been here for a while, this is your home. You know, this is our family. We feel like that. But sometimes it's hard to bridge that gap with new members. How can we do that? That was our conversations in our small groups. We have ping pong. We have cornhole. And we have world-class chefs that come to our retreats. Now, they don't actually come around the world, but they are fantastic. Our food is good, okay? Our food is fantastic. Ask the kids about summer camp, okay? So when you come, we have heat, we have air conditioning, we have devotionals, we have an opportunity for you to get closer to these people right here beside you, and an opportunity for you to get closer to your God. You're not going to starve to death. You'll eat very well, okay? Let's see. And then this is our fall retreat this past last weekend. So guys, here's the deal with retreats. If you're trying to get to know your church family better, if you want more than just a face to put with someone, if you want more than just, hey, how are you, Sunday morning, see you next week, Sunday night, if you really want this to be your family, okay? If you really want to get to know people and to love these people and to know these people as your family, this is a family picture, then these retreats are for you, okay? Now, I will tell you that the beds are not always the most comfortable, okay? But you won't go to bed that late because you're spending time with your family talking to them, okay? So, October 26th, 27th, and 28th is our fall retreat, okay? Everyone is welcome. I'm taking family out and just saying fall retreat. Go ahead and make plans to come, because if you're missing out, we're truly missing you, okay? We want you to be there. We want you to be involved. And that's with everything that we do. When I get up here and make announcements, or anyone gets up here and making announcements, it may be for a specific age group, but I guarantee you if you show up, you're going to be welcomed. You're going to know people. If you want to help with something, help. If you want to get involved, help. All right, get involved, okay? October 26, 27, 28. Write this down. Those are probably the only notes that you take tonight because, like I said, different type of lesson. Write this down. But that's retreats. Let's talk a little bit, before I forget, summer dates are posted on the bulletin boards. Parents, I know you're trying to plan your summer vacations. Summer dates are up. The first week of dead period, athletes, it's open. Go on vacation then. We're not doing anything then, okay? But our summer dates are posted. We want you to be as active and involved as possible. The VBS committee sign-up sheet is there. If you're looking for a chance to get involved, there it is, okay? If you can't help with VBS, come help with something else. We go to summer camp for a week. You got to feed 75 kids for a week. We need help, okay? Summer dates are posted. All right, so let's move into the City of Children Christmas trip, all right? I went, Neelan Darnell went, Ben Johnson, Dylan Todd, and Sam Wilson. We've been going to the City of Children for many years over the summer, but I believe this is our third Christmas trip, and we've never had an opportunity to talk about it. We've asked you for 3 different years to bring stuff in. Basically, we take care of the stocking stuffers, okay? So that's kind of what we've been asking you to bring. We give you a bag, it's a Ziploc bag. Wish it could be more decorative. Wish it could be bigger. I've had those 2 things. I wish it could be more decorative and wish it could be bigger. But ultimately, you only have 5 suitcases that can weigh 50 pounds. And we tried paper bags one year. And Southwest, I think, tried to make them all piñatas. When we opened the suitcase, it was just like, just Christmas stuff everywhere. The plastic bags work the best, but you guys, this is what you all collect. So this is us at the airport. This is us. We're goofy in this picture. We're still goofy in this picture, just a little bit more. So what we do, our typical schedule when we're at the City of Children for the Christmas trip, the summer schedule is completely different. But the Christmas trip, essentially what we do is we get there, we have all of our gifts, we have all of our crafts, and we kind of get organized. And then we usually have 2 Christmas parties per day. Generally what we do is we'll have one after breakfast and then we'll have one around 1:30 before their playtime. But we dress up, we're getting our best Christmas attire, our tacky sweaters. We kind of have a rotating outfit that we kind of wear. As you can see, Sam's a Christmas tree and Neelan is Olaf. But we kind of have rotating. Then Patty wanted to take a picture with us. These are the babies. These are the smallest ones. These are the ones that when they see those gifts and see the things that they have, they just, this group really and truly makes it all worth it. I mean, you know, you've been there with little kids on Christmas. They're so much fun. And as you can see, this one right here, I guess I can say here too, this one right here, not taking the sucker down for a picture. Not happening. It's his sucker. Basically what happened was, it's one of the first thing he opened, sucker, and the rest of the Christmas presents were open one-handed because he just couldn't put it down. He was so excited. So these are all the trips. These are the younger, or all the groups, younger Medianos, the older Medianos. We actually missed out on a group picture with the younger Medianos. There were so many of them. We were having so much fun. The next thing you know, they were gone and we didn't have a group picture. The older Medianos, which if you've been to the City of Children before, very exciting news. They're actually going to get to open the teen dorm. For a while they had to close the teen dorm because they didn't have enough. But now they have 16 boys that they're going to open up that teen dorm for them. And they are super excited. Now, if you've never been to the City of Children, that doesn't really mean that much to you. But this is a big deal for them. That they are able to retain teen boys. They're able to keep them. And the teen boys actually right now in school, their grades are better than the teen girls. That's never happened. The teen boys' grades are fantastic. They're leading in worship. They're getting their own dorm, and they're doing awesome right now. And then the teen girls. So when they come in, we basically were dressed up. As you can see, they're dancing, kind of, we're being goofy, we're having fun. Before they're allowed to open presents, we usually play Feliz Navidad for like 30 minutes straight. I can sing it constantly. I can sing it in my sleep when we're there. But we make them dance, we make them have fun. Basically, think about your school Christmas parties your kids have at school, and that's what we're doing. We're dancing with them, we're laughing with them. As you can see, this is one of the new kids. He was having a blast. He never really had that much of a Christmas before. He got here 3 days before Christmas. Imagine, he was dropped off with 3 brothers. 4 brothers, your family. Imagine getting dropped off in an orphanage 3 days before Christmas. And he was still able to have a great time. He loved it. He was super grateful. And then, of course, Patty. If you know Patty, you know she's not going to miss out on any of the fun, so she danced with us as well. And then we opened the presents. So basically, we have the presents laid out. You can see the big bags. They all have names. So we danced. We're hot. We had fun. We're with all those costumes on and dancing. We're exhausted. But then we get the bags and we start calling them out. And they're just like, we call them out, and we'll say, for example, this is not Amelia, but we'll say Amelia, and she'll jump up and down and raise her hand, and we'll take hers, and she'll wait patiently for everyone. And then we get all of them lined up, and then we're usually like, y'all don't want to open presents, do you? Well, we're going to do something else. And they're like, are you serious? Like, you just put them in. And then we're like, okay, we're just kidding. And then we tell them, 1, 2, 3, ready, go. And they literally just dive headfirst in these presents like normal kids do. So here's a few of the kids opening presents. Amelia got her Barbie. She was super excited about that. These are the babies. They can do it in about 30 seconds. They can open these presents so fast. All right. Of course, everyone has to see what everyone got. Everyone likes to compare, and a lot of times it's like once we open the presents, it's like, all right, who wants to trade? I got a black one. Who wants a blue one? All right. It's kind of one of those things. So that's kind of what's going on here. The older Medianas opening presents. They're always super excited. I'm going to go through these pictures kind of quickly. Sandy. And then, so as soon as they open presents, they go and take a picture, because every single child has a sponsor in the United States, okay? So they get their presents, they take a picture, and basically what happens next, they take the picture, and then they write cards. So they write thank you cards, and they know. And guys, you all that have small children, never been to the City of Children, these kids can fold clothes like nobody's business. Let me tell you, they open their gifts and they're neatly folded and put back in a bag, and then they take their picture and then they're ready to write thank you cards. Super grateful, extremely grateful for everything that they get, but that's part of the process. Paulina is in about 6 of these pictures and her tongue is out in every single one. So that's just Paulina. But so they open their presents, they take a picture to send back to their sponsor, and then they immediately go and write thank you cards. They draw, whatever it may be. They spend anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes on these cards because they truly want to show how thankful that they are. Then we do crafts. For 5 guys going on a trip that we were responsible with crafts, I'm not going to lie, I was kind of nervous. I was like, I don't know how this is going to go. I'm not the craftiest person in the entire world. Hey, but I thought they were fantastic. Of course, I'm biased because we were there. They might have hated them, but they did a really good job of faking it if they did. We had sugar cookies. We had gingerbread houses. This is what they're doing in Nubia. They're making gingerbread houses. They did the little snowflakes. They made the sugar cookies. Most of the ingredients or most of the decorations are eaten before they actually make it on the sugar cookie, but it's fine. So this is probably one of the better ones. They took it really seriously. They didn't eat their candy. They actually put it on there. So they did a really good job. And most of these, I'll be completely honest, like if you look at these gingerbread houses, if you lift the roofs, they're like stash houses of candy. Like they've got it stacked in there ready to take back to the dorm. And they'll show you, like mamas and papas over here, they'll be like, come here, look. And tons of candy. So that's awesome. They have a lot of fun with it. And then of course the babies, doing crafts with them. It's organized chaos and something came out of it. They had fun. All right, and then this is just kind of all of us with them. We had a New Year's Eve party that they had with them. This one, she's just adorable, so I had to include her. Basically, Ben was wearing that bandana. She took it from him, put it on her head, and said, like that. She's awesome. She was Ben's little friend for a little while. We had a lot of fun. But the City of Children, they all have sponsors. The City of Children itself has sponsors. We've been sponsoring them for a long, long time. As far as physical needs, they're taken care of. They have a place to stay. They have clothes. They have food. But what they need, and that's why we go down there, is there's usually like a 10-to-1 ratio. There's 10 kids to 1 mama or 1 papa. And as you can imagine, especially during Christmas time, you get to be surrounded with your family. They just need interaction. They need someone to make them feel important, to show them love. And that's exactly what we were trying to do the entire time, is to, because they're there for a month. They don't have Thanksgiving break because that's obviously an American holiday. They get an entire month off for Christmas. So the entire week we're there, we're just constantly interacting with them, opening presents, doing crafts. We watch Christmas movies every night. So we have popcorn and drinks, and we do all of that. We play with them. They destroy us in soccer, but that's not anything new. But if you ever have an opportunity to go during one of the summers, go to the City of Children. And if you can never go, then continue to support them the way you do, because it is a fantastic ministry, and these kids are awesome. Most of these kids right here, they're the teen girls. They're fantastic. They're so smart, and they're going to grow up and do wonderful things for the Lord's church. Now, I'm going to have to roll really quickly, so everyone just buckle in unless you want to be here until 8 o'clock. We're going to go really quickly, okay? So Cusco Medical Campaign, this is the one that Ashton and I went on to Cusco. So let's keep going. So we, as you can see, every suitcase weighed 68 to 70 pounds. We had 5 suitcases plus our carry-ons. Like Ashton and I put all of our personal stuff and carry-ons. The rest of the stuff was supplies provided by you. So we had 5 suitcases, all 70 pounds. It was really cool. I told the lady at United, she was like, why in the world do you have 5 suitcases that weigh 70 pounds. The extra baggage fee we were going to have to pay for one was supposed to cost $150. I told her we were going on a medical mission trip, and she said, you guys are awesome. I'm going to reward good with good. This bag is free. Don't worry about it. So that was automatically seeing God at work before we even got out of the airport, was that lady just being like, you know what, this bag's free. That saved you $150. So our flights, Nashville to Houston, Houston to Bogota, and then Bogota to Cusco. So we left, and I did military times, I'm sorry, departed Friday at 6:20 p.m. and we got to Cusco Saturday morning 11:30. We were dead. We were so tired. We were exhausted. We landed in Bogota. We had about an hour and a half to get through customs 3 times because Bogota is backwards. So we had to go through customs 3 times, and we were running. And we almost didn't make it out of Bogota, let's put it that way. This is kind of a view from when we got there. Saturday, we arrived in Cusco at 11:30. We ate lunch and adjusted to the altitude. Now, you're at about 1,500 feet in altitude right now, give or take. Cusco's 11,500. It's a huge difference. Altitude sickness is real, okay? And don't hear that and get scared to go. It's fine. Ashton survived. When we got there, someone posted a scale of 0 to 12, 12 being the worst, and she was probably a 10.5, all right? Didn't know the first day if we're going to make it or not, but altitude sickness is real. You're much higher. But you can take medicine, drink lots and lots of water, and once you get rested, you feel like you can survive. You'll make it through the week, okay? And then we had the welcome banquet at the church. Here's what we got. Here's the schedule, but don't be too American about it. You know, you're now on Cusco time. It's really just a suggestion, and it is so true. Any of you that have ever been in a Latin American country, schedules are just a suggestion. It says 4 o'clock, but you're probably going to start at like 4:45 when everybody gets there. Just a suggestion. This is kind of some of the traditional stuff. That's kind of a terrible picture, but that's some of the traditional dancing that they showed us. So let's talk about their worship service. They have worship at 9, class at 10:30, followed with a second worship service at 11:30. So that's basically, their building's not big enough to support. They usually have about 150 people each Sunday. Their building is not big enough to hold 150 people. They're working on obtaining land, but we live in Chapel Hill. We know the cost of land right now is crazy. It's even higher in Cusco. They want a new building. They're working on getting a new building, but right now this is their solution. 2 different worship services, and they were both packed when we went. This is the outside of the church. Like I said, I'm going to have to go kind of quick. This is the worship service. We sang all of these songs. The first verse we'd sing in Spanish. The second verse we'd sing in English, then back in Spanish. And sometimes we'd sing them in English and in Spanish in the same time. And it was amazing. Any of you that have ever been to a bilingual service, it is absolutely amazing. It's kind of you kind of get a feeling that this is what heaven's going to be like one day. Whoop. just kind of get a feeling this is what heaven's going to be like one day. We're all together, we all love each other, and we're just singing to the same God. It's incredible. This is Percy preaching. We actually started supporting Elvis and Percy, so it's really cool that he got to preach. Just kind of their building. And then I thought, this is terrible pictures, but I thought it was funny. Our age groups might not be perfect, but their age groups are 0 to 3 years old and then 4 to 10 years old. So ours are a little bit better than theirs, if you can imagine teaching 4 through 10-year-olds. This is the Plaza de Armas. I'm going to go really fast through these. Everything we ate was alpaca steak, alpaca hamburger. It's really good, actually. All right. So this is our schedule. Breakfast at 6:45. This is Monday through Thursday. Breakfast at 6:45 to depart the hotel at 7:20. Arrive at the campaign site at 7:40. We would do our clinic from 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock that night. Clean up and prep for the next day, and then dinner at 6 p.m. Now we would eat lunch there. I made it back and I didn't kill anyone, so we did eat lunch during the clinic. So don't worry about that. This is where we did Parque. I could say it earlier. Cachimayo, okay? So that's exactly where we had it. This is the first day we got there. We got there about 7:45. These people had been in line since about 4 o'clock that morning, and it just extends out and keeps going. When we got there, as soon as we got off the bus, they were pumped. They started clapping for us. They were super excited for us, and the clapping part's what got me. You all who work in healthcare, how many times have you got welcoming by clapping patients? Exactly, you're laughing because it doesn't happen, okay? It was awesome. They were super appreciative of us being there. We were surrounded by a fence, and this is kind of the waiting area. They're just waiting for us to set up. This is where we were. This is where we had the clinic. We had a truck come that we had 2 trucks that brought our supplies from the church building. This is your registration area, and I apologize, I am going really quickly, but I don't want you all to have to be here forever. This is the registration area. From registration, they would be registered, okay? Then they would move to triage. And then Ashton was in registration and I was in triage. We would basically look at their chief complaint, make sure it was appropriate, and then let them go to one of 3 specialties. The specialties were physical therapy, general medicine, and optical, or ophthalmology, okay? So this is our general medicine tent. It literally we had to hang this up because the sun was coming through. We had 4 providers, 2 nurse practitioners, a general medicine provider, and then an anesthesiologist were our 4 providers. So they saw, and I'll tell you the numbers here in just a second. This is where they're waiting for eyes. They would get their eyes dilated right here. Some of them have sunglasses on. Some of them chose to just squint because they weren't quite correlating that we were dilating their eyes. And we'd tell them to put their sunglasses on, and they would for 2 seconds. And then they take their sunglasses off and just sit here like this. And we're like, put your sunglasses on. That's why we gave them to you. And you're like, yeah, we're okay. I'm like, okay, fine. Physical therapy. Now, you may think like, what in the world are you doing physical therapy for? You're only there for a week. Like, physical therapy takes months. You'd be surprised at how many people they were able to help. There was children there that had cerebral palsy that had never taken steps before, and by the time these physical therapists were done with them, they were taking steps for the first time. They were able to bring some wheelchairs down. We gave people wheelchairs, but they just did tremendous work. I was amazed by how much physical therapy was able to help them. People that don't have access, they've never been to a physical therapist. They don't have any idea. You know, this one girl, I don't remember her disorder, but basically it made it very painful to walk. So she didn't walk. She just didn't do it. But the physical therapist worked with her and pushed her. She cried because she didn't want to, but they pushed her so hard, she ended up walking out of the clinic. Took the wheelchair with her because she'll probably have to use it, but she walked out of the clinic. This is our pharmacy. The Quechua women carry all their babies on their back just like that. It was about 75-ish degrees. She probably has on 10 layers on top of the baby on top of her. I would have suffocated. I don't know how they do it. We did have security in case anybody got out of order, but that never really was an issue. So here we are. Ashton's at registration. She saw a lot of people. So a lot of people come through registration. She kept us organized. It was one of those things that they were like, we need someone that's organized and is not afraid to kind of be a bulldog up front. And they asked Ashton if she could do it. She said, yeah, I think, and she did a great job. She learned some Spanish phrases real quick, like sit down and it's not your turn. But she did a fantastic job, all right? I was in triage, so we triaged everyone. This is just some pictures with some of the younger ones. The one that I was trying to console was, she was not happy today about anything. And just, like I said, some more pictures. kind of go through. Before the clinic opened every day, we would have a devotional. So we would sing, someone would speak. So we'd get there, we'd set up for the day, we'd have about a 20-minute devotional, and then about 10 after 8, we'd open up the clinic. And this was on Wednesday. The devotional Sundar led was fantastic. It's exactly what we needed to hear. Monday and Tuesday, you see about 500 to 600 patients a day. Monday and Tuesday, it's like it's brand new. I can do this. Keep pushing. It's new. I'm not that tired. Wednesday gets here and you're like, oh, I can't even think straight. Like, I'm trying to remember Spanish. I'm trying to remember English. I'm trying to remember medical stuff. I can't. And his Devo was amazing, talking about leaning on God. So I just wanted to kind of include that. This is our group photo of everyone there. So on Monday, this is our numbers for Monday. I saw the most every single day. So Monday, this is our numbers. Tuesday, our numbers. I'm going to kind of go through this quickly. Wednesday, Thursday, and then this is our grand total. We saw 1,981 patients in 4 days. You can understand why we were so tired. So let's talk about the team. And I'm going to go through this relatively quickly, but I really want you to know this. This is the most important part. We went there to provide medical care, but we went there to get them in the door. We went there so that, because every single person, Ashton registered all 1,981 of these patients. She was in registration, and they had a process, so she literally saw every single one of these, but every single one of them would fill out a contact information sheet. So the local church in Cusco that we now support has 1,981 contacts because they came to this medical clinic. Now, if you put a sign up that says free Bible studies, you'd have about, sadly, in this world, and y'all know how it is, if you said free Bible studies, maybe 100 people show up. You put a sign up that says free medical care, 1,981 people. So that's why we were there. So you kind of meet the team. I'm going to go through this. The most encouraging part of the entire trip, we saw 1,981 people and it was incredible. The most encouraging part is how involved the local church members were in this mission. They were so involved. The second we walked in on Sunday morning, they were hugging us, they were welcoming us. I've never seen them in my entire life. I don't really speak the language. I speak enough, like Isaac said, to get in trouble, but not to get out of trouble. They were amazing. They were super excited we were there. They were super welcoming. They had these Pepto pink shirts on. That's kind of how you can see, and they stood out. They led the Bible studies. The missionaries didn't lead the Bible studies. We didn't lead the Bible studies. The local church members led the Bible studies, and that was probably the most encouraging part of the entire thing. Is number one, they were willing to be there, and number two, they felt comfortable enough and spiritually mature enough to lead the Bible studies. Like I said, the pink shirts definitely stood out. Teenagers were there. They were amazing. The teenage girls who helped us, we couldn't have done it without them in their translations. They're translating. Like I said, so out of total, I'm going to kind of skip through here. Here's your stats for Bible studies. We had a total of 360 Bible studies and 5 baptisms. The 5 baptisms is why we were there. The 360 Bible studies is why we were there. The medical patients, the amount of patients we saw was incredible, but this is why we were there. We wanted to get them through the door. We wanted to have an opportunity to get contact information, and then we wanted an opportunity to share the word of the Lord with them. All right, so this is Ryan and Sarah. We support them. All right, and this is just kind of some of the group pictures. The 2 pictures on the right is everyone that's sent people that support Ryan and Sarah. Okay, so that was kind of Ryan and Sarah's group. There's 5 different missionaries teams down there, and you were divided based on who you supported. So we were in Ryan and Sarah's group. That's Machu Picchu. It was amazing. If you go next year, you'll have the opportunity to go to Machu Picchu. All right, so this is the most recent baptism. This is Rosa. Okay, she was baptized about 3 weeks ago. So what I want to show is they kind of had a recent convert ceremony. They recognized everyone that had been baptized in the last few months, and this is the numbers. They are doing amazing things in Cusco. I was blown away by the member involvement with the mission trip. I was blown away with the member involvement with the Bible studies, and how just like the American missionaries are there, and they're doing a lot of work, and they work extremely hard, and they're doing important work, but they're not doing all the work. The church members are really taking it on their shoulders to do it as well, and as you can see, the fruits of their labor, these individuals have been baptized because of it. So this is Skylar. This is one person that I kind of wanted to mention really quickly because she is currently an intern. Skylar is an intern for Cusco. In June, she's committing for 2 years. She's going to stay in Cusco for 2 more years and be a missionary. She would love an opportunity. If you want to give me your email address, if you'd like to sponsor her, that's what she needs right now. She needs sponsors so that she can stay and do a 2-year contract. Skylar, I'll go back. Hold on one second. I'm going to go to this picture. This is Skylar, posing. This is the real Skylar. This is her in the children's ministry. She was on fire the entire time, smiling the entire time, and I know she'll do amazing work. I'll send you all of her information if you be at all interested, but like I said, in June, she will start her 2-year in-country mission, and she'll be there the entire time. So are you interested? I know I went through this super fast, and I apologize for that. The Kaiser family, the Reeves family, and Corinne are all leaving in December. Now, if you remember when Ryan came in the fall, he talked about the Cooks, the Kaisers, and the Reeves. They went in 2009. Now, the Cooks had to come back because of medical issues with their small child. The Kaisers and the Reeves have been there since 2009. Okay? So since 2009, they've done about 6 medical mission trips. The Kaiser team and the Reeves team is massive. And if the Kaisers and the Reeves are leaving in December, so if they lose their team, their medical team, it's going to cut our numbers down in half. We saw 1,981 patients this year. We want to see more next year. So we need more people to go. Even if you're not medical, I'd say there's probably 60 Americans there. Half were medical, half were not. There's a job for everyone to do, okay? We need a lot of help to replace team members who will not return. And like I said, you can see Ashton or myself for details on that. Okay, so I really want to go back, as I close, I want to focus on these 2 individuals. Jesus is on the left, he's the older gentleman, and then you have Walter on the right. Walter is the young man who I mentioned who was legally blind. I knew as soon as he came in the clinic there was something off about him. I thought he might be somewhere on the spectrum. Turns out he just literally could not see anything. He never had access to ophthalmology. He never had access to eyeglasses. He couldn't see at all. Okay. Once we gave him a pair of eyeglasses, he got those eyeglasses. He went and had a Bible study, and 2 days later he was baptized. Would he have ever been able to read the Bible without access to those glasses? Someone might have, but we can't always put it off on someone else. It's our job. We've been given the Great Commission. We have to do it. And then you have Jesus on the left. Jesus actually met Gary Reeves about 7 years ago. He met him 7 years ago. He wandered into the church building. He didn't have anything to drink. He had no water. He was just looking for water. Had a conversation with Gary, one of the missionaries there. And 7 years later, after Gary gave him water, had a conversation with him, he came back to the church building looking for Gary. And when he found Gary, he told him, I wanted to be baptized 7 years ago when you had that conversation with me, but I just wasn't ready to commit. I couldn't do it. I've been putting it off way too long. Guys, where are you right now? Where are you right now? Are you like Walter? Are you like Walter, who you're blind to things around you, you're not being involved, right? Do you need to put your glasses back on so that you can see the things around you and so that you can dive back in? Are you like Walter, who has just been putting it off way, way too long? Where are you right now? Have you been baptized? Because that's the first question. If you haven't been baptized, don't be like Walter. Don't put it off for 7 years. 7 years. You know what you need to do. And if you don't know what you need to do, then we want to help you as well. What do you need? What do you need from us? The entire time we were there, the entire time I was in triage, I would ask them, why are you here? What do you need? How can we help you? We're asking you that same question tonight. The invitation is always open. So essentially we're always asking you the question of, how can we help? What do you need? How can we help you? How can we, going back to the family retreats, how can we make you a stronger family member? How can we add you to our family member? How can we add you to our family? I don't know what you need. I have no idea what you need, but you know what you need. Whatever you need, we'd ask that you come forward as we stand and as we sing.